Hey everyone, John here, and today we have something that I think is quite frankly fascinating. So this is Ori and the Blind Forest running natively on Nintendo Switch, but this right here is not a console. In fact, this is just my phone. So this is just my phone streaming Ori via xCloud. And remarkably, it works. It works so well. I've played the entirety of Halo 5 on my phone without an Xbox in sight. It's crazy just how well this works. And part of this comes down to the Razer Kishi, which is a USB-C controller that practically transforms your phone into a Nintendo Switch. So if I press the A button, Ori's going to jump almost instantly. But what I'm wondering is how instant actually is it? It feels great to play in person, but can it really match the native Nintendo Switch controller? Well, we're going to do a few tests, but right off the bat, let's see if you guys can tell. Is there a difference? I'm pressing these buttons at almost the exact same time, and from what I'm perceiving, Ori is basically jumping immediately on both of these. And yeah, keep in mind again, this is being streamed. There is no console. I don't even own an Xbox, so it's crazy just how well this works. But I'm going to do a few more tests that go a bit deeper into the input latency. We're also going to test it with Streets of Rage 4 and Untitled Goose Game, which are both available through Game Pass and are also on Nintendo Switch. And we're going to see how well they work as well. So without further ado, let's jump into some more in-depth tests. Alright, so here we are in my video editor, and we're going to do a very advanced thing of counting frames. Now I've moved my finger around very quickly, so as soon as a button is pressed, it's going to disappear almost immediately. And once it's pressed down, we're going to count the frames it takes for something to happen on screen. So let's try this. Let's wait for it to press the Y button. And there you go. So that's when it's pressed, and it disappears. So that's a press right there. We're going to count the frames from right now. 1, 2, 3. So it takes 3 frames for a fist to appear on Nintendo Switch. But how about streaming via xCloud? How many frames does it take Streets of Rage 4 on there? Alright, so same situation. I imagine this is going to be a bit longer, seeming as it isn't native, but let's have a look. So as soon as it's pressed, which is there, we're going to start counting the frames. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it takes 6 frames for anything to happen, more or less double Nintendo Switch. Now that does sound like quite a bit to be double the latency, but 6 frames is still very good and much more than most native games. But how about Untitled Goose Game? How long does that take? So here we are on Nintendo Switch, and I want to see how many frames it takes for a honk to appear. So let's back up a little. As you can see, it's already more frames than Streets of Rage was. So we're going to wait for the smear, which is right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 frames for anything to happen. So a little bit more on Streets of Rage. Not quite what Streets of Rage is on xCloud via streaming. It's a little bit less than that. But how does the xCloud version of Untitled Goose Game compare? So let's back up until we see a smear, which is right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frames. So that's really not that bad, especially compared to Streets of Rage, which was double the latency. This is only a frame or 2 more, which is rather impressive. But anyway, let's move on to the final game, being Ori and the Blind Forest. Alright, so our final game, let's try Ori. Let's just find the smear, which appears to be right there. So the finger moves then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it takes 6 frames for anything to happen in Ori. I think that's the longest so far. I know Will of the Wisps definitely optimized things to be lower latency, so if that ever comes to Switch, we can compare that. But anyway, let's see how long it takes on xCloud. The button is pressed, it moves away. So let's count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ori and the Blind Forest would be nearly identical to the Nintendo Switch version, which is absolutely insane. And just because I doubt very many of you are going to run this through an editor and count the frames, let's just run them both side by side and see if your naked eye can see a difference in all these games. I've been playing xCloud all week, and I've beaten Halo 5 in its entirety just by streaming. It's crazy just how well this technology works, and putting it side by side with the Switch, I mean, it's really hard to tell a difference. I'm pretty convinced if you just gave this to someone, they couldn't tell you it's being streamed. That's how quick the button presses really are. So as you can see, xCloud being streamed is remarkably similar to Nintendo Switch. It's just crazy how well this technology works. So let us know what you guys think about this, and can you see yourselves playing games entirely through a streaming service? Let us know in the comments below, and of course be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for a lot more on xCloud and Xbox Game Pass and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye!